Hey folks, welcome to Transplant Helper. For just a moment today, I wanted to pause and just kind of tell you about some new opportunities as far as building the Transplant Helper community, as well as contacting me if you have any questions, comments, that sort of thing. I just wanted to make you aware of that. Now, first and foremost, let me remind you, anytime I put out a new video, which I like to do at least on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes a few more days in between, anytime I put out a new video, if you'd like to comment beneath that video, that is absolutely the best thing you can do. Give me a thumbs up, comment below the video, tell me what your life is about, answer the question that I may ask during the video. That is perfectly fine, and that's absolutely my favorite way to be reached out to by you as a viewer. But in addition to that, I want to remind you that I do have a couple of different opportunities as far as Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing, other ways that you can get in touch with me and that we can build this community together. Now, in the first place, let's mention Twitter. I've mentioned Twitter many times. As a matter of fact, for the first, I would say 30 or so of the programs that I recorded, I had my Twitter address up in the corner all the time, and I'll remind you that is at transplant_help. So if you ever have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me on Twitter, obviously with 140 characters or less, or maybe you can just direct message me, whatever, but you can always find me there, transplant_help. If you'd like to follow me there, that's great. I'll probably follow you back. So let me look at that and just, build this community. That's what I want to do. Now, in the next level of that, I've added an Instagram account to this. Now, obviously, this is an Instagram account that I'm using to kind of promote the program, but at the same time, I'm also going to be kind of showing off a few of the things that I do around the house, just some personal items, obviously there. That's more what Instagram's about. So if you just kind of like to connect with me on Instagram, you can do that. Also, it's at transplant_help, albeit I think all the letters in that are maybe lowercase, if that even makes a difference. I don't know. So I'm there on Instagram. And then on Facebook, for a long time, I've had my page, The Transplant Helper, and I'm appreciative of all of you who have chosen to follow it. That is a great way where I can post videos. You can comment below those videos. You can send me messages, private messages. That works wonderfully. But at the same time, that's really more about me putting out content and you responding to it. That's about all I've been able to do with that page. So in the last week, and I mean by this really in the last 3 days, I think, I've decided to add a Transplant Helper Facebook group to what I'm doing, the Transplant Helper Facebook group. So you can go ahead and find that. I'll try to put some links here beneath this video in a little while that will help you get to that maybe more directly, but I would encourage you to go ahead and join that group. Now here's what's going to be a little bit different about the Transplant Helper group as opposed to probably all the other groups you're members of on Facebook, especially in the transplant world. Because, for example, I'm a member of many different transplant groups myself, heart transplant groups, general transplant groups, transplant caregiver groups, whatever, and the majority of those are large groups, very large groups, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people that are members, and that is absolutely great. It's awesome to see that many people coming together. However, at this point in time, what I've decided to do, and this may be a bad idea, I don't know, but what I've decided to do at this point in time is to make the Transplant Helper, it's a closed group, but make it only limited to 500 people. Now, we're at about 150 some odd people right now. I was able to do that in the first day, but when I get to about 500 people, I'm going to be very selective then as to who I allow to be in the group. Now, I hope that you'll send me your request. If you want to be in the group, I'd like to include you, but I'm going to be very selective at the cap of about 500. And there's several reasons for that. One, I want to make sure that we build a profitable community. That is, that everybody in the group participates. Everybody in the group kind of gets to know one another. We get to spend a little time with one another, that sort of thing, and really just build the community that I'm trying to build. I don't want a group where people are just randomly, venting, randomly asking questions, just doing a little bit of everything. I want a group where people actually build a camaraderie. And I know that happens on some of the other groups, no doubt, but at the same time, I also realize that on some of the other groups, that can be somewhat limited. When you've got 3, 4, 5,000 people, in a group, then it's easily can be the case that we kind of get lost in the mix. So I want to limit it to 500 people or so, just for a time at least, see how that works. If it doesn't work, I'll grow it. If it doesn't work, I'll cut it off or cut it out. I don't know which one to do. But I do want to offer that to the first 500 people that want to just look for that. I'll link it in the show notes again below. You can make your request. I do require that you either be a transplant patient yourself or a caregiver, a family member. Show me or prove to me with those questions that I ask that you're actually connected with Transplant World, and I'd be more than happy to have you to be a part of that. And again, it'll be a place just like some of the others where you can bounce off questions, vent, do some things just to make life enjoyable and to be a support to one another, because my transplant groups hopefully will do the same thing that everything else that I try to do is done, and that's to advocate, educate, and motivate you as a transplant patient. So that's always been my goal. It'll continue to be my goal, and I just want to thank you, all of you who are subscribed to my channel. I get new subscribers every day. I'm not a gigantic channel. I probably will never be. I'm not even trying to be, because I'm not in this for money. I'm not in this for fame or glory. I'm in this just to help people. So, when I see a change of 3 to 5 subscribers a day, I'm thrilled with that. When I get the comments that I get every day, I'm thrilled with that. The questions, whatever. And this is just other ways and extensions that I can send that out to you. So Twitter at transplant_help, Instagram at transplant_help, the Transplant Helper page, which many of you are already members of, and now the Transplant Helper support group or Transplant Helper closed group, which I'm going to try to limit to less than 500 people. So if you want to be a part of that, it's pretty much time right now to go ahead and jump in and try to be in the middle of that limited number of people, at least for a time, and be a part of this bigger community. Anyway, nonetheless, I really appreciate all that you do for me. I do the very minimum I can for you, as far as, I hope that I'm helping someone. And the feedback I get is that I am, and I assume you're all honest and sincere, so I'm tickled to death to be able to do that. But anyway, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I appreciate those of you who watch this as a live stream. Those who've already given me a thumbs up, continue to do that. Share this out. Let people know that I'm trying to grow, not only as a person, but especially try to grow what I'm doing here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those medias. And I'd like to see you do the same. So yeah, certainly, if you want to get involved in some of these areas, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, you can go ahead and guess who your first subscriber is going to be. You're looking at him. So go ahead and let me know if you're involved in that already, or if you're planning to do that. I want us all to help one another the best that we can. Again, thank you so much for watching. It's just an honor to be a part of this opportunity. And as I always say on every program, until next time, stay stronger, friends.